for a class for my master's program. And it actually is applicable to our lives right now too, with what we're doing with Herbalife. And then it would move us into a session that we've actually talked about wanting to do, and that's a planning session. So what we're doing now is actually, how do you get a meeting started? How do you do the preparation, and then how do you get it started to go into that, to effectively go into that first topic? So that's the purpose. Before we get started, one of the things that I know, why would it be important for the facilitator, someone like me, or someone like you, when you facilitate meetings, why would it be important to put some thought process beforehand and then the actual very beginning of the meeting?
It's a good, just to get people's attention, get them started and interacting and knowing what the goal is, setting the objective. Excellent,
excellent. One of the things that happens a lot of times is people don't prepare. So it's kind of the anti-example here, just to get your thoughts going. But I'd like to hear one story, at least from one of you, about a training or a session that you went to that just started off bad and never got any better. One of the things that will happen is they might start late, or the impression that the facilitator has no credibility to actually be running the session. They don't know the topic, they don't know anything about it. A session or a training, even if it's just been a meeting at your job that was supposed to be 30 minutes and it ended up being an hour and it shouldn't have been. Can you think of an example?
We have faculty meetings in our school all the time, and so frequently the leader of whatever the meeting is will try to get the teacher's attention, and the teachers can be really rude audiences sometimes, and so they just basically won't give the attention when someone's trying to get it, and it just kind of goes downhill from there. It's just one of those things that feels like the person's leading the group is not in control and not able to really get the ball rolling.
And how does that make you feel as a participant when the facilitator loses control, or doesn't even start with control?
Wasting my time.
Wasting your time. Mm-hmm. And that is absolutely the main reason why we wanted to do this. On to page 2, what we're thinking about, how would we do that with what our current endeavor is, which is Herbalife? And how would we start an Herbalife session? How would we prepare for it? And then I see somebody laughing. So one of the key things is in preparation, right? And I have a military background, and I always heard this throughout my life, and it does have a military background. And it's prior preparation prevents poor performance, because being prepared is one of the key things to having a success. So what are some of the things that reach out to you in this section where preparation is as important as the facilitation itself?
Well, it doesn't matter how long you work on your PowerPoint presentation. If you don't get the media saved up properly to the flash disk, and then it can cause a lot of trouble, because then you're scrambling around at the last minute trying to get it prepared to present it. So all the preparation has to be there to make it successful.
And so to actually kick off a successful meeting, even if you get it all set up, you've already just kind of been through that panic state, backups to preparing for a session, media-wise, having some backups. Like I brought a few extra of these in case you had some of your friends here. If you've got an online session and a live session going at the same time, that can really create technical nightmares. So the preparation is just as important as actually kicking off the meeting. The thing that kind of hit me too is knowing what our role is in that particular meeting, because sometimes we'll have different facilitators in meetings. When you stand up to talk, are you talking as a mentor? Are you talking as a coach? Are you talking as a testimonial? What is your actual role as the facilitator, and knowing that before it starts, so you're not somebody asks you to come up and say, okay, now we're going to hear from Christy, and Christy doesn't know what she's supposed to talk about. So, and then the day of the session, the most important person to be ready is you. So for you to get ready, you want to make sure you have a proper breakfast. And for us, I think it's really important, if we're going to do an Herbalife session, that be something, Herbalife, because then we can say, this morning what I had is I had a shake with some mango in it, and we can use that even as part of our preparation. But if we haven't actually done it, of course, we don't want to lie about it. We want to eat breakfast. We want to drink plenty of fluids, but not probably Herbalife tea, because we can't have that many breaks. You might do something just to get your energy up. Energy products that can help us do that, or you can also do exercise, take a walk. Actually important for what we do, I think, is dressing appropriately for that particular type of meeting. So what would we wear on a Monday night meeting that we might not wear on a Wednesday night meeting?
Well, on a Monday night meeting, we're mostly doing exercise and workouts, so that would be one of our tennis shoes in our cool camp. Yeah, sweat
right. This area is you want your environment to be ready. And the one thing that's really critical too, you want to make sure that if we do have a display like this, we're talking about the different things that are here. And we don't have to go into detail, because what we're doing right now is not a product training. We're talking about why this is important to have. So right now we're not going to go into detail about all the products. We're just going to say it's important that if we have this, that we use it as part of our tools that we use in the training itself. Which has happened in a lot of meetings that I've actually been in, where there will be a display, or there'll be in the room there's charts or different things, and they're not referenced during that particular training, and it just doesn't make sense to the person. And there's one thing on the big no-no in facilitating meetings, and that's having stadium seating. That is the seating across in lines. They say never, ever, ever do that, because people don't have the opportunity to actually interact very much. If you consider that the fact that the other seating is actually for our future customers, it kind of makes you think about it differently. Like, what if that person actually did have a question, and they're just kind of sitting squished up next to somebody, and they can't see the media or what's being said? And we invite people there, and they're a future customer. We kick off. If you have someone that's going to be an important person that's going to kick this off, like for us, that would be maybe a Michael that would come in and kick off a session for us. You want to have a conversation with them beforehand and say, here's what we're trying to accomplish with you being there to kick us off. This is a really important meeting. It's going to help all of us in our business, and I know that this team can do it, and it might be just an energetic rah-rah, and also it's a great time as a facilitator, as the person leading the meeting, that he can say, and there couldn't be a better person here to help you do that than Julia or Christy or Tommy, because then that gives you some credibility from this important person that already has the credibility. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You want to post an agenda, of course, and then just ensure that your enthusiasm level, after you've done all this preparation and you've done everything to get ready, when it starts off, you're still up. So whatever that takes, and it might be, doing some lift off.